Melissa is back. Where do you want to begin?
Okay, I know that you talk about this to death, but can we just hit New Jersey real quick? Two things.
Sure. By
First of
the
all,
way, Dolores is angry at Teresa. I will say it again. I have somebody on the inside camp. Everyone's like this and that. Apparently, I said this in passing. Like, sometimes you wash your hair and you just turn on the microphone, oh, people were like, really? And I'm like, girl, get a life. We have to remember, Sarah, that we are such huge podcasters that every word we say,
people listen. People
yeah, and then
forget
you're
too.
like, man, I didn't realize this was such a thing. I thought everyone kind of knew that Dolores is mad at Teresa and Teresa's mad at Dolores. Listen, they're mad at each other for different reasons. I mean, Dolores is angry under it all because, you know, I mean, Teresa's costing her a paycheck. I mean, there are other reasons too. And Teresa's a little angry, my sources tell me, and they are very, very valid sources. There's been a lot of talk about Dolores lately. Dolores, Dolores, Dolores. I think Teresa,
What law?
you know, is there, yeah. And then there's also, I have a new theory. I have a whole new theory. We
What?
won't talk Jersey, but I have a whole new theory. Look, I don't know if the show's ever coming back, okay? But when this show ends and we have Dolores Catania sitting there, Godfather style, could we have gotten this whole thing wrong for years, months? It's been a year since the damn show has been on. We've been talking Teresa or Melissa, Teresa or Melissa. I mean, did this show end with a foreshadowing that the future is like a Dolores centered New Jersey? Because I'm starting to hear things.
Wait a
Starting
minute.
to hear things.
Okay, wait a second. Wait a second. That wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me. I think if we've learned anything in Bravo, the leaders become the losers.
Yes, the
The
leaders become the
Bethany's.
losers.
The leaders become the losers. Bethany, Teresa, will we see the demise of Kyle Richards? We'll talk about that later on. I don't understand how Kyle doesn't remove herself at this point, but okay. Um, the people that win are the Luanns, right? The dirty Lou. She
Dirty.
was never the leader, ever. And she is like, this woman to me is like the reality, like the Beyonce of the reality space. Like she is such a star. Okay.
After Crappy Lake, I was like, I don't know. But yes, Luann, I am so sorry. Like, she has redeemed herself and left. She just makes great TV. She
Dorinda,
just does. Yeah.
Dorinda, C-list, not never the leader.
Yeah.
Dorinda leads on podcast, Sirius XM radio, coming back, her own special. So I think Dolores sitting there as the kingmaker at the end of it makes
Mhm.
perfect sense. The
Mhm.
leaders become the losers to me in Bravo for sure. I think Dolores absolutely. But what? So do you don't believe that Delore Lore is moving to Rhode Island and
Now
going to
I
be a
did. Now I did a rant on this. I did a rant, so I won't waste everyone's time. That is possibly the most insane thing I have ever heard in 6 years since I turned this microphone on. In 6 years. By the way, um, at the end of this year, when you and I do our best of and worst, those are the most popular shows, girl. When we do our best housewives of the year, last year we gave Siggy Flick. I put Siggy on my top list, not our favorites. Who had a good year for them? You don't need to tell me Siggy had the best year of her life. Um, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a list. You should do the same thing. I'm in year six. What year are you in? 11, 10?
Thanks a lot. Nine.
Oh, sorry. No, I mean, that's good. I'm gonna make a list of housewives that did not last to
How
season.
many years have you been plugging away at this? A decade? A decade?
No, oh,
No,
I didn't mean it like
I'm kidding.
that. The kids
No,
always
I know.
think sometimes I'm mean to you.
You're
I-
never mean to me. It's funny.
I'm gonna make a list of housewives who didn't make it to the seventh season. That'll be for the end of the year when we do our best of. I'll say like, hey,
We
I
all
lasted longer than these. You put do your list even longer. No, that's Delulu. Teresa and Dolores are mad at each other. Teresa ain't happy that it's Dolores, Dolores, Dolores is all we're hearing about. And Dolores, she's like, this is so fucking ridiculous. the more months that go on. Dolores has her family. She's not moving to Rhode Island. But you know
Now,
what? We're going to be watching Rhode Island.
I know you're very excited. A lot of people are very excited. Who else did I speak to recently who was like, I can't wait. I'm so over these other franchises. I don't know. Was it KK?
Salt Lake is the only franchise that I'm currently not over.
Oh, I'm excited for RHOC to come back, which
Are
my
you?
source was incorrect. They said that it was coming back in June. We haven't seen any promotion, but I would think fall.
Hi, Jimmy Bellino. Get your story straight, Bellino.
Really outing my friend Jimmy B.
By the way, what do you think of this? Heather Dubrow, her daughter, Katerina, I believe, got into Yale. I would actually, if I could go into any undergrad school out of them all, I would have chosen Yale. But I grew
Really?
up,
Oh,
Miss
you grew up by it?
Miss Kemsley and I grew up in the suburbs of New Haven. So when we were in our big thing in high school was we would, when we wanted to misbehave, we would go down to New Haven and like get into Yale parties. Like we grew up on the Yale campus, basically. That's my that and coming to New York when my girlfriend's parents bought a place in New York. We're like, thanks for buying us an apartment in New York. I know we're 14. We're gonna go in every weekend now. Remember, I told you we went shopping. We went to Serendipity's for hot chocolate. Yeah, it was a real straight bro with my girlfriend. We went to
Well,
Broadway.
serendipity was the giveaway, but
Ah,
now
frozen hot
every
chocolate.
woman drags her man to serendipity, so that's good. Yeah, that's true.
Ah,
That's a very straight weekend of you.
yeah,
Yale.
every weekend. Her parents bought a
Interesting.
place, and we said, you can use this in like 10 years. We're going in every weekend. Our own pad in New York City. Lots of sex happened there. Not. Okay, go on. I was like, I'm tired tonight, darling. Let's just go to bed.
Tired tonight.
Um,
I don't want to look at that vagina.
no. So what were you saying? You're excited.
No,
So
I was trying to think of what
you
Ivy League school
bro.
I would have wanted to go to if I
Oh
could have
yeah.
money.
Yale
But
is my number one.
yeah, maybe it would have been Yale. I don't. Boston is too cold for me. Well, Connecticut's too cold for me too. Trying to think of maybe Wharton School of Business. That's
Hmm?
also in Boston.
You
I
would
just
have
like
followed
business
in.
now, but I hated business back in the day, so I
You
don't
would
know.
have followed in Ivanka Trump and Melissa Rivers. They both went to UPenn undergrad. Miss Rivers
Oh,
and Miss Trump.
what? So the whole controversy with this story is Dubrow came out saying, "Look, Terry and I did not pay for her to get in there. That's absolute BS. That ship has sailed. People aren't paying anymore to get their kids in." I'm not sure exactly if that's true, but the reason I'm sure she got in on her own merit. She's very smart, but also Terry is an alum. So I mean, there's always a certain amount of they love the legacy continuing. Um, people leave a lot of money in the endowment and all that, sweetie. So,
So you're not sure, but I mean,
oh,
look,
I
there's
think she got in on her merit. I think that these schools care less and less. There's a lot of smart kids. There's a lot of rich kids. They want diversity. So I think she got in on her own merit. I think it helps that Terry was an alum.
I mean, look, Violet Affleck, she got in on her own. I mean, they love, oh, you mean to tell me they don't love Violet Affleck wearing her mask